here and now so that we can take our offering or collect our offering. Remember, our offering is a way that we worship God. And the way we worship God is by giving to God what is needed so that we can do ministry here in our church. And so for that, we are grateful that God has enabled us to do this through your gifts, your tithes, and your offering. So the band's going to lead us, and I'm going to invite you to just stay seated. More than anything else, I'd like you to hear the words of this song as much as you want to sing this, and I want you to sing it, and I want you to sing it loud. But when you're singing it, connect with the words. Listen to the words. Realize that these words are meant for you, for our community, for our world.
Singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. For I took a breath, you breathed your life to me. You have been so, so kind to me. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, bites till I'm found, leaves the 99. Oh, I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You've been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You've been so, so kind to me. And oh, the over won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. Oh, I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, la, la, la.
The gospel is good news. Gospel meaning good news. It's found in Luke chapter 15, verses 1 through 7. And I'm going to read that to you. Then I'm going to talk for a few minutes, and then I'm going to pray, and then we'll be out. Tax collectors and other, gotta love this word, notorious, sinners often came to listen to Jesus teach. This made the religious folk, the Pharisees and the teachers of religious law, complain that he was associating with sinful people and even eating with them. So Jesus told them this story. If a man has 100 sheep and one of them gets lost, what will he do? Won't he leave the 99 others in the wilderness and go search for the one that is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he will joyfully carry it home on his shoulders, and when he arrives, he will call together his friends and neighbors, saying, "Rejoice with me. Celebrate with me. Get crazy with me. Get grateful with me, because I have found my lost sheep." In the same way, there is more joy in heaven over one lost sinner who repents, or, as we know it, returns to God over 99 others who are righteous and haven't strayed away. Ask my daughter. Ask Samantha what Dad does when he goes to either ShopRite or Target. Just ask. I have to be reminded to take my phone off of vibrate before I go into any store, ShopRite, Target, or any other place, so that when I wander off on my own, they know where to find me. And when I tell you that I wander off on my own, I do. I am prone to wander constantly. If I see something I want and I remember something that I need, I go look for it, and I don't tell anybody else that I'm going to look for it. And so I'll go down this particular aisle, or I go down that particular aisle, and they zig, and then I zag, and we can't find each other for whatever reason in the store. So Target, ShopRite, Sam's Club, I wander. When I was 5 years old, we went to Storybook Land, and it was one of those moments where even at 5 years old, I prone to wander. And so at 5 years old, we get there, we get off the bus. We were living in Millville at the time, so Storybook Land probably wasn't that far from where we were. I can't remember, but I remember getting off the bus, going with my group, going with my mom, who was the room mom, and I remember sitting there waiting in line with this group of annoying kids around me, and I said, I don't want to do this. I want to do that. And so I took it upon myself. That's why I can relate to some of our kids in our congregation. I went off by myself. I found something I'd rather do than what we were currently doing and having to wait in line to do. So I decided I would do this particular, I guess it was a ride. I don't even remember what it was. And everybody was freaking out. Every last person that we were with was freaking out. Yes, in 1975, when we went to Storybook Land, everybody was freaking out because they couldn't find me. And when they did finally find me, I said this to them. I said, I was right here the whole time. I knew where I was. The gospel story according to Luke, the good news according to Luke, chapter 15. These words, or this story with a purpose, was in response to those who were second-guessing why Jesus was hanging out with the people that he was hanging out with. Jesus spent time, met people right where they were to introduce them to this unbelievable, reckless love of God. Where Jesus was willing to wander away from what was normal or what was available to him to find the people that he needed to find so that they would understand this grace. Which, by the way, my friends, that's our mission. That's our vision. Is to meet people where they are, to connect them with Jesus, to grow them into relationship with Jesus, and to serve our community. But Jesus chose to spend time with those who nobody else wanted to spend time with, especially the ones who knew about God. The one that God said to them, you need to be the light of the world. And they're saying, we don't want to be the light of the world. We don't want to be rubbing elbows with those kind of people. And yet Jesus said, by the way, this is who? Right now, right here. And so Jesus tells this story with a purpose. Now, this story is not mathematically or financially or even correct. You don't leave 99 sheep by themselves to go find one that is lost. Financially, it's not the correct way of doing life as a shepherd. Mathematically, it's not right. And yet, financially, it's not right. And yet when Jesus told this story with a purpose, he did it purposely so that we would understand the significance of how he does life and how those who are lost, those who can't find their way, those who do not have purpose will be pursued discovered, and brought back. I don't know about you, but that's crazy. That's reckless, and that's unbelievable. Listen to the action words in this story. The shepherd leads. The shepherd goes after. The shepherd lays the sheep on his shoulders. The shepherd rejoices, celebrates, comes home, calls all his family and neighbors together to celebrate the one that has been found. Because why? Because all of the sheep, all 100 sheep, matter to the shepherd. I find this God extravagant in his approach to us. I realize, or this God is extravagant, reckless with his love. He's willing to love everyone and anyone, no matter what they've done, no matter where they've been, no matter how they choose their own path, no matter how they may wander. God still chooses to invite them, to be with them, and then invite them to join him in his path that is always the right path or the right way for us. See, that's the crazy thing about this life that God gives to us. God's life that he gives to us isn't about just one day. It's about here and now. And it's about here and now so that we can experience peace, comfort, and this unbelievable love that is never, ever separated from us in this life. So God is willing to do whatever God needs to do to find us, to discover us, to pick us up, and to bring us back home. And so every Sunday, friends, that's why we worship. We worship a God, no matter if it's the band or the piano. No matter if it's 2 songs, 3 songs, 10 songs. If it's an offering, or if it's just us being together. We celebrate with gratitude about this God who is willing to do whatever it takes to bring us back home so that we can experience his life. That's amazing to me. That is absolutely amazing to me, that there is nothing that we can do to earn that love. There is nothing that we can do we don't have to climb some spiritual ladder of success to get Jesus to love us a little bit more, or for Jesus to be like, you're okay in my book. No matter who you are, no matter where you've been, no matter what's happened within your life. God is willing to meet us right where we are. So here's the crazy thing about that whole thing. Here's what I know. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter what you're doing in your life that you believe others may disapprove of. It doesn't matter where you are in your relationship with God right now. God continues to pursue you with a love that is unbelievable, overwhelming, and abundant. And so no matter what you've done in your life, that love covers over a multitude of sin. And trust me, I've done the really good job of sinning in my life. And yet, God still loves me and wants me to be in that relationship with him. This is the message that God gives to you every week that you're supposed to take out there. This is the message that we take to our students every single week on Wednesday nights. This is what the kids are learning about right now in our Sunday school class. This is what they're experiencing in our nursery, even though they may not fully wrap their head around it yet. This is what we celebrate in baptism. This is what we celebrate every time we sing a song, no matter what that song is and no matter how it's played. We still say to God, thank you, thank you, thank you for pursuing me, looking for me, joining me where I am, meeting me where I am so that you can bring me back home. Bring me back home. So that we can experience that love and that grace. So no matter who you are, you walk through those doors on a Sunday morning, you're not going to be judged. You're not going to be labeled. We're not going to call you lost. That person who comes in may feel lost. They may not understand why they're here. But they're going to come through those doors and we're going to love them right where they are. No matter who they are, no matter where they've been. Because that's who we are. Because we were first loved in that same way. I invite you to remember that. I invite you to remember that when you just simply come here to consume, I invite you to know that when things don't exactly go the way that you want them to go, I want you to remember that in the way we do life as a church, as a body, as people who use their different gifts and abilities to serve Him in a way that will remind everybody else around them that they are loved, loved, loved. And here's the crazy part about it, friends. You're not going to get it right every time. At all. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to come up short. And guess what the others get to see? That God still loves you, that God still forgives you, and that God still wants to be in relationship with you. I don't know about you, but that's why I had to sing this one. Because God is extravagant. God is extraordinary. And God is so extra with His love and His grace that it's a little overwhelming. Let's stand together for our prayer. So here we are, God. We stand on that promise that you love us. We praise you and thank you and honor you with all that is within us because of this reckless love. And even though we can't fully understand it, even though we can't wrap our head around it all the time, we are grateful that you love us despite ourselves, and that you love us despite our stubbornness, and that you love us despite our weird ways, and that you love us even though we want to do it one way, and you're saying, no, come on over here. This is the best way. Let me invite you to be a part of this life and my life. Join me where I am. And so, God, we are grateful that you first joined us where we are, and now, God, you're inviting us to join you where you are. So take us, God, from here in the light of your love and your grace and your mercy, so that, God, we will be your light in our community. And I pray this, God, in your Son's name. Amen.